Hello, my friends. It is Sunday morning, the 17th day of November. It is 2019, and as usual on Sunday mornings, it's the Sunday morning talk with yours truly, the LeadSled. This morning, I want to talk about a prophecy that was prophesied all the way back in 2007. And the reason I'm doing it is because of what's going on today and how relevant this prophecy is, and it's already came to fruition on the first part. But when I have spoke about this on the internet, a lot of people, say that I'm lying. Of course, these are non-believers. I have a knack of running into a plethora of non-believers, but of course usually my comment is always God related, Jesus related, and that always brings them out of the woodwork. But I've been called a liar. I've been called this is fake news, blah blah blah, it's of the devil. And for people that don't believe in God, they sure love quoting the devil or saying, this is of the devil or that's of the devil. I've always thought that that was kind of ironic from people that don't believe in God, but yet they love saying something's of the devil. You remember the old t-shirts back in the day that used to say the devil made me do it. It's something along them lines. Anyways, I want to talk about a prophecy. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. I'm getting old, people. That's what happens when you get old. You start forgetting. And I'm old. Anyways, this prophecy happened on April the 4th, 2007. And it was in the United States. And it was in a church. I don't know exactly where. I'm sure I could find out. I've watched this prophecy. It was videoed many times. I want to say Minneapolis, Minnesota. I don't know why I want to say that, but probably about 1,000 miles off, because usually I am with trying to guess something like that. But this prophecy came from a minister by the name of Reverend Kim, K-I-M, Clement. I'm going to spell that C-L-E-M-E-N-T. The reason I'm spelling it is because people that will probably dislike this video, they can go look it up and watch it themselves. And if I had the comments open, I'm sure I would be called everything in the world like I always was in the past. But on April the 4th, 2007, Kim Clement, Reverend Kim Clement, that's a tongue twister, prophesied that God would make Trump a trumpet, and he would place him in the highest seat in the land, and he would build walls of protection, and the economy would change immediately, and he would be hot-blooded. Now, we know Donald Trump is definitely hot-blooded, but I will say one thing about him. He for the most part, does not attack somebody unless he's been attacked first. I've noticed that. Now, of course, I'm sure there's exceptions and people will dig it up just to prove me wrong. But on the most part, he usually, doesn't fire first. But anyways, he is hot-blooded. And he went on to say, Reverend Clement went on to prophesy that his enemies would cry, impeach, impeach, impeach. And God would say, I am not going to let that happen. It will not happen. And he will serve 2 full, glorious terms as President of the United States. Now, there's a lot more to it than that. Those are just the main highlights. He goes into great detail. It is about 45 minutes long in length, his prophecy. Now, the thing is this. He prophesied it on April 4th, 2007, almost 10 years before Trump took the oath of office. If you remember, Donald Trump was sworn in on January the 20th, 2017, and this was April 2007. So just a few months shy of 10 years prior to becoming president, this minister prophesied that Donald Trump would become president, that God would place him in the highest seat in the land, that God would make him a trumpet. Now, let me tell you something. You know anything about a trumpet? Trumpets are talked about in the Bible. We got Gabriel, and, they're very loud instruments. They can be extremely loud. They will grab your attention. And this is just what my personal take on, God will make, Trump a trumpet. He will get America's attention. Okay, that's my take on, when he prophesied that God would make Trump a trumpet. And he has, because Donald Trump, if he's done one thing, he has definitely got this nation's attention. There's a portion of this nation that despise him, that lie on him to try to make him look bad. They do everything. I'm not going to go into all of that, but I do want to say one side note real quick. All these ones that are calling him a racist and a bigot and a white supremacist, all these Democrats and these so-called news, which they're not news, they're propagandists, and all these actors and actresses from Hollywood. Before Donald Trump came down that elevator in 2015, these people loved him. They went out to dinner with him. The Democrat politicians came to his offices in New York and begged for money, for campaign donations and contributions. They went to his golf courses. They stayed in his hotels. They buddied around with him. They wanted to be on his show. His show was extremely popular. These people are hypocrites. Okay? So, and one other quick thing I find absolutely amusing. Jesse Jackson gave Donald Trump an award for, doing such wonderful work in the African-American community. And again, this is prior to being a president. And Jesse Jackson is one of his most, as far as African-Americans, one of his most outspoken critics, calling him a racist and a bigot and all that. You see, these people think people are stupid and they're not going to go back and check records. They're not going to go back and watch videos or see. A lot of people are lazy and they won't do it. But if they just took the time to go back and look, they will see that this man has done so much for minorities in this country. Before he was even president, he donated so much money. He did a lot. He hired people not based on the color of their skin, but what was up here. Okay? That's what he did. And it just made that, I got off track a little bit, but it just shows you the hypocrisy that we're living in 2019. But anyways, Reverend Kim Clement. All right, let's get back to the prophecy. As we know, Donald Trump was elected president. Now, the one side note again to this is Reverend Clement passed away. He passed away about 2 weeks after the 2016 election. So he did get to see the first part of his prophecy come true, with Donald Trump being placed in the highest seat in the land. He didn't get to see the economy drastically change. He didn't get to see the border walls being built. He didn't get to see a lot of things, but you know what? It's okay, because he's in heaven with Jesus. And in the end, that's much more wonderful than Donald Trump or anything else. Even though I support Donald Trump, Christ is the man. He is the one, the only. He is the light. He's the life. So, anyways, I highly recommend. He also goes on to talk about Time Magazine, Life Magazine, the Washington Post, New York Times, other papers and news medias that, they'll attack him, like nobody else has ever been attacked. They'll just, spread lies and print rumors as truth. And all of this is come to fruition. Every bit of it That 45 minutes that man stood up on that stage and prophesied this, it shows you that God not only is real, but he still has his hand over this nation to a point. We have a president that prays. Now, I've said this a million times. I don't believe Donald Trump is a born-again Christian. I don't claim that he's a born-again Christian. But what I will say is, after becoming president, I do believe Donald Trump has a belief in God that he probably did not have prior to becoming president. And if he did, I'm sure he believed in God in some aspect. But now it's stronger. His faith in the Lord is stronger. And he also says in the prophecy, now I'm not going to get this like word for word right, but he says something along the lines that he'll be a praying president. He'll come in not really being that, and he'll leave a full-fledged praying president. Now, we've already seen that, because we already see that Donald Trump has ministers that come into the Oval Office and pray with him and give him guidance, biblical guidance. And I think that's what absolutely irritates the left and the Democrats today, because they really have become the godless party in America. They really have. Because they know the Bible speaks against so many things that they try to normalize and try to push on the American people. Abortion, their whole alternative look at marriage, you know, the way they are brainwashing our children to accept Islam and turn their backs on Christianity. There's story after story about teachers teaching, you know, kindergarten, first graders how to pray, you know, do Islamic prayers. You can find a plethora of stories on the internet where parents have caught this happening and complained to the school board. I mean, it's just, that party, the Democrat Party, is so anti-God, it's not even funny. But, yeah. Anyways, I highly recommend. I don't know how to do links and videos or whatever you call it. I really should learn how to do that. And I should learn how to edit. But I think you got to buy like editing software and stuff like that. And my budget right now is not even near, you know, I'm sure that stuff's not cheap. So I do the best I can. And so go ahead and type in Reverend Kim Clement. And you could probably type in something like Trump prophecy, you know, 2007 or something. I'm sure if you did that, you'll come up with it. And you can also read it. If you go just right to your search bar, not on YouTube, but on your internet browser, and you type in, you know, Reverend Kim Clement, Donald Trump prophecy 2007, you can also read it. It's also typed out. So if you don't want to listen to it, you can read it, which I also did, and I highly recommend that as well. All right, I blabbed on way more than I wanted to. I hope you're going to church this morning, and if you are, I hope I see you there. Take care. God bless each and every one of you. Stay warm. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow. This has been your Sunday Talk with the LeadSled. I'm out of here.